It would be a big surprise if he can back it up. At the same time, he's an interesting little horse with his own character, and you never know.
Tom, thank you for that fascinating insight. Great stuff, and well done earlier. Good luck for the rest of the meeting. Thanks to Tom Marquand. We've got a few more to go forward, and one of those is Beau Echo to go forward. I hope he can, Ali. I hope he can.
I know you do. Heart or head?
Yeah, a bit of both, ultimately. So we will see. Last one going forward. Here's Richard Hoyles.
Group 1, Visit Qatar Sussex Stakes over a mile. Dozen runners leave the stalls. Opera Ballo's very swift into stride. Goes forward. Kirat keeps him company. Opera Ballo a little bit lit up. Zavatiri crosses right behind the field. Seagulls 11 is prominent early, and Dorset is going to try and light Opera Ballo's blue touch paper as well. He hasn't really dropped his head. Gstaad settles in 5th with Puerto Rico back in the pack. Never So Brave. Beau Echo, yellow colours, about 4 from the back with Docklands. Also towards the back, 10 Bob Tony, Lake Forest and Zavatiri. So out in the lead it is Dorset who has the advantage as they climb briefly uphill. Kirat in 2nd, Opera Ballo in 3rd place as they settle down. Seagulls 11 in 4th. Gstaad, travelling better than an Ascot, is in 5th place. Beau Echo is getting onto his back with Puerto Rico on his outside, marking him again. Never So Brave, then 10 Bob Tony, Docklands, Zavatiri and Lake Forest. Dorset kicking on. Kirat in 2nd place, just as he was 12 months ago at this point. Opera Ballo trying to get a breather in. Seagulls 11, then Gstaad, Puerto Rico, Beau Echo a little locked up in traffic with Never So Brave as Gstaad comes off the bridle, and Seagulls 11 threatening to drop into Beau Echo's lap. Kirat, Opera Ballo, Gstaad, Beau Echo angling out now, having given Gstaad rather first run. Opera Ballo strikes for home in the Sussex. In 2nd place Gstaad, Beau Echo hanging. Opera Ballo has the lead. Gstaad in 2nd place. Beau Echo trying to reel him down. The big 3, Opera Ballo, Gstaad, Beau Echo digging in, but time is running out. Gstaad, Beau Echo surging, Beau Echo winning. Beau Echo, what a horse! Down deep to beat Gstaad once again. Opera Ballo, 10 Bob Tony, Zavatiri and Never So Brave. At Newmarket, it was a stunning turn of foot. At Ascot, it was a real dour battle. Here, he gave up first run, gave Gstaad a break, and yet the result was still the same. Beau Echo winning by half a length. Gstaad must be sick of the sight of the yellow jacket looming on his outside. Opera Ballo again, if he would just settle, would give himself more chance. Then 10 Bob Tony and Zavatiri. What another great mile race between these two standout 3-year-olds. Billy Loughnane didn't exactly have things go his way, but just like Ascot, when the chips were down, there was more strings to this bow. Beau Echo wins the Sussex.
Oh, yes! Billy's done it. Beau Echo's done it. He deserves that hug. What a horse race, Johnny.
Brilliant. And you see Billy there, and everybody says he's so delighted. That's relief. That is relief. When you're riding these big horses in these big races and you come out on top of it, you know, a brilliant race like this. He didn't travel as well as I thought he would have. He came off the bridle a bit early and he pulled his stick through with his right hand, but when he gave him a smack, you just knew he was getting there.
Yeah, I think...
And that's what the great horses do. The great horses are able to pull it out when it really matters the most. He's unbeaten now, Jason. He keeps being able to do it, and he did it a bit tougher today. He didn't cruise and quicken. He had to tough it out.
But imagine just waiting until everything happened in front of him. You know, there were a few cards played before he was able to go up through the gears. You're right. You know, unbeaten, it doesn't just come with freedom, compression, and he's been able to handle all that pressure.
And here at the moment as a sports showman as well. I'm sure he gets a bit of stick in the weighing room for things like this, but this is great for the sport, Hayley. His interaction with the crowd, I hope he goes in front of the stands, because that roar when he passed the post, even from here in the pre-parade, was huge, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you know what, it doesn't happen very often, but that gave me goosebumps. I mean, we just love Billy, he's brilliant, and he's done it on a hard track at the highest level under a lot of pressure. Like, you know, his talent's just endless now. He's just going to improve and improve, and, you know, we're lucky that we're all going to be on the journey with him.
Come other side of me, big Last week at the World Cup, you had Yamin Yamal. Everybody was raving about 19, what he's doing. This is racing to Yamin Yamal now. He's a special talent. He's 19, and the more races he rides and wins like this, the more confident he'll get. As I said, he's got that little bit of confidence cheeky about him, but he has to back it up, and today Beau Echo and himself did.
And just enjoy these pictures. as the two heroes. Hats off to Boughey. He'll get the crowd going. The three, the Guineas, the St James's Palace, and now the Sussex Stakes. So special. You did it, Johnny, on Henry the Navigator. Frankel, the only other horse to do it since then. It takes a very special horse to pull off that treble in the 3-year-old year.
It does, and you know, Fair Juice was prepared brilliantly. Again, they learned from Ascot. It didn't just go right. Today they were a bit cooler, rode him a bit more quiet. I thought he'd travel right down to the furlong pole. He didn't. He had to get dirty, and when he did, he said he stayed on really well. But it takes a special 3-year-old to do this, Ed. You know, and every big race is another. It demands more and more. But he's shown up each time, and listen, fair play to him.
And we haven't even mentioned the trainer yet, George Boughey. A 6th Group 1 for him. How brilliantly he's trained this talented horse. He'll now get the water on what is a warm day. But you just know who the photographs are all going to be of following this. Billy.
Well, Billy, this horse has had his doubters in the past, but that performance, I think nobody can doubt him after that.
Hopefully that can silence them. What a superstar of a horse. I say it every time. But I know how lucky I am to have a horse like this at this age. It's a fantastic, and yeah, I just feel so privileged.
Billy, I'm not sure if you can hear me. There's quite a lot of support for you coming back in, but just that didn't go to plan at all. They threw absolutely everything at you to get him beaten.
Yeah.
That turn of foot he produced on a track as difficult to ride as that is next level.
They made life difficult for him, but I always wanted to follow Ryan. That was my plan. I knew the pace would be on with the setup of the race, and that plays into this horse's strengths. I was boxed in between Ryan and Christoph, and I had to just sort of wait to get out, but once I did, he just proved how good he is. And we watched plenty of Sussex's back, me and George, and they always get on top of them late. They get going early, and we were keen to do that.
Well, Billy, for your age, you're absolutely ice cool. How does this rate amongst the other Group 1s that he's already provided you with this year?
It just keeps getting better and better.
Well done, Billy.
Yeah.
It's a big team effort, this. Kristen Archer leading in the winner. Jack Callan, I hope young Jack's here, so talented in his own right, rides this horse pretty much on a daily basis. Beautifully trained by George Boughey, who I'm sure we'll hear from shortly. How Sheikh Mohammed Obeid would have loved this. And maybe he's got a serious stallion in the future in his hands. You have to take your hat off to Gstaad, who's run huge in second. Opera Ballot's run a remarkable race in third, considering how free he was early. 10 Bob Tony was in the mix, but it's all about this combination. Enjoy these scenes, the winners of the Visit Qatar Sussex Stakes, Billy and Boughey.
Coming into the parade, and that's the reaction we were expecting with this horse, because we saw it at Newmarket, we saw it at Ascot. The crowd goes wild for Boughey, they go wild for George Boughey and Billy Loughnane there. George describing Billy like his younger brother. They're a brilliant partnership, they have great confidence in each other and in turn in this horse Boughey, and I have to think for sure he'll be a stallion in the future. He's undefeated so far, he's won 3 Group 1s this year, including the most important ones, the Guineas at Newmarket, the St James's Palace and the Sussex Stakes, and he is beautifully bred with Dubawi all the way through his pedigree as well.
What about when they're saying, Billy said, myself and George, we've watched quite a few back and said that it happens late in the race. That's when the real winning move is made, and he was super cool, and he actually hit a bit of a flat spot, didn't he? So maybe just in time he's getting a little bit wiser.
I think it's a race that we'll all enjoy watching again and again, because your eye was drawn to so many different horses throughout, but there was no doubt the winner, Boughey. Let's confirm the result with Richard.
what a horse he is, because he didn't travel into the race as he did at Newmarket. Gstaad did get that length and a half, but once Billy asked him the last 50 yards, he didn't really have to go for everything. He's got a phenomenal attitude, and what a great story this is. This horse really attracting some traction this year amongst the 3-year-olds. I say the Miling Colts are definitely the pick there. 10 to 11 favourite, beating Gstaad in second place and Opera Ballo in third.
And there are the brothers in arms on the left, George and Billy. And what a horse he is. Right, Johnny, back to the start. A nightmare start, really, for Will Buick. Look at the blue. Should he have taken Opera Ballo back here?
But he jumped very well. I think he was trying to take him back Ed, but he was all go. And when Dorset came up sides him, kind of lit him up. Colin Keane's on the outside. Now they are really trapping there. Opera Ballo it has done remarkably well to finish where he did. You know, he never really settled for the first furlong and a half.
I think what makes this even more astonishing that he finished third is that's the stiffest part of the track. He is pulling really hard.
Nothing that Will could do then?
Nothing he could do. You know, bar you miss the kick and sit out, you know, but that's his running style. He likes to jump and he likes to roll. Now, from halfway, he's kind of gotten an even keel and he has him back and he has a nice lead in front of him. But those first, you know, that first furlong and a half would have taken his toll there late in the race.
And what's Billy thinking now? Because he's in a Ballydoyle pocket right now.
Well, he's in the box seat. He's following Ryan Moore. Yeah. Like listen, you couldn't ask for a better place. Now, you would prefer someone different than Christophe Soumion on your outside, but you know, they go down past the tree here.
He was keeping him tight enough as well, wasn't he? He wasn't just, you know...
Well, we're keeping him honest. We're keeping him honest, yeah. You know what I mean? But it is a Group 1, Hayley, so there's no white gloves on and after you business. But you can see Billy here, he's following Ryan down. He switches out nicely here. He came off the bridle here and I was a little bit worried.
See, Charlie Bishop tried to angle his way out and gave him a little bump, and that didn't seem to put him off at all.
Then, when he had him on an even keel... Yeah. You knew from here he was going to get up.
What I like best is he puts his stick down, pulls it through, he gives him a smack with his left hand, and it's almost like he just found an extra length out of him, you know, just pulling it through, switching it round.
He was very unlucky. He ended up at the back on the inside, and he needed a lot of luck in running at Lake Forest. I think they'll be feeling like they didn't get a fair crack at them, and I must say, I think Ryan Moore probably thought he had the race won because he was in front most of the way to the line, and then late on, Bo Echo and Billy Loughnane absolutely swept past them and sealed the victory.